To tell. That's a lot of the problem on the internet these days, and that MySpace page is a perfect example of the role the internet has played in politics over the last few weeks. At both conventions, bloggers and internet reporters have been right on top of the news. So joining me now to talk about all this and how the RNC is going this week, Professor Richard Moeller from Metro State College. Thanks for stopping by.
Thank you.
Professor Moeller. You know, it's just so true. A lot of people can go on the internet and blog. They can put up, oh, well, so-and-so has a 4-point lead now, and some people will believe that because they think you can believe anything on the internet, right?
Yeah, and so much of it is anonymous. I mean, you have your little code names or you know, so to identify you within the system, but it doesn't reveal who you are. But the blogging and the Daily Kos and the Red State websites, I mean, they just are, this is unprecedented this year, the way they are so active and a part of the, you know, the DNC and now the RNC. They're right there along with the delegates. Yeah, and we saw it earlier on in the campaign where Barack Obama had to spend a lot of money just refuting internet rumors out there about him. So do you think, what do you think is going to be the biggest effect this has on politics and on this election this year as opposed to, say, former elections? Money and scandal. I mean, the money that's been raised on the internet is just is incredible. It's just that the way they can go out and solicit people, please, you know, contribute, and they've raised a lot of money. All sides have, and even obscure candidates have done really well doing it. Ron Paul, for example. And then also the scandalous part of politics. This is kind of like yellow journalism revisited. You know, 100 years later, we're now seeing it in the blogging, and it's healthy to a certain extent. But the internet is tends to be kind of vicious and vile. Oh, yeah, and especially in the situation of the Palin family and of her daughter, that whole issue. So I guess it's a double-edged sword. It sounds like from what you're saying, it can be used for the good or used for the very, very negative. So let's talk RNC this week. You know, talk about a convention that's been hit by so many things that are distractions between the hurricane, the issue with the Palin family, all of these things. But overall, with Joe Lieberman standing up last night and being very, very strong in his speech, how do you think they're doing so far? Well, it's so ironic because after the DNC finished, everybody was thinking, oh, the RNC, they're not going to get any coverage. I mean, everything was about Barack Obama and Vesco Field, and then they announced Sarah Palin. Now the Republicans really just want to cruise through and finish. They've got so much attention, and so much of it is in the wrong places for them. So they're really hoping to try to focus a little bit more. And Gustav didn't help either because they were so concerned about, you know, what was going to happen to New Orleans. So what they're trying to do now is put, you know, just get through without more scandal and really highlight how the two candidates are different. But it's going to, a lot of it's going to turn into the your vice president is worse than mine, and your president doesn't have my experience, and so it's going to be you know, pretty rough the next few days, and I think they just want to get through. What about distancing President Bush from John McCain? I mean, it's been, what, 60, 70 years since an American president has not attended his party's convention. Even though it's by satellite, the president spoke last night, some are saying it's very convenient that the president could not be there. Yeah, I thought the same thing, really. I mean, that's really what McCain needs to do in order to get independent votes, is to really say, I'm not the party person. You know, and Bush came in like that as well. He said, I'm not a party person. I'm a united, not a divider. And McCain has got that issue right now, too. And he wants to play up the fact that he's a maverick and he's different from the president. And the funniest thing that happened last night was when the president said, you know, he always tells it like it is and not afraid to disagree. I know. You know, well, we'll see as this progresses. And we will have you come back and analyze as we progress here with this very exciting time in politics. I think one of the most exciting elections ever. Richard Moeller from Metro State. And Ken, I understand you've got more on the latest presidential polls. We do. The latest polls, Shawl, do suggest that the Democrats did get a boost from last week's convention.